Welcome to the Wisconsin Athletic Hall of Fame podcast. Come celebrate with us as we profile the phenomenal careers of our Hall of Fame members. Hear exclusive stories, emotional memories, all right here. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to our first Wisconsin Athletic Hall of Fame podcast. We're live from Central Standard, our sponsor with this wonderful place. Really want to thank them for hosting us here tonight. Special guest of honor, Hall of Famer from, what year were you inducted?
Ooh, maybe 1995?
1995.
I'm guessing. I don't know. No, I think it's
Well known.
1995.
She's a legend. She's an Olympic legend. Our one and only local Bonnie Blair. Please welcome Bonnie Blair.
Thank you.
We're gonna have a great conversation tonight. We're gonna talk about your career. We're gonna talk about your first gold medal,
Okay.
which is a great story. We're gonna talk about kind of how you ended your career, and we're also gonna talk about the upcoming Olympics. It's gonna start here in a few days. There's been a lot of kind of hype over our team, over the speed skaters, over one of the local skaters who's got a great chance to win a lot of medals in Jordan Stoltz, right?
Correct.
So this could be a great year for the Olympics. Maybe not as many medals as you want, but we're gonna have a great conversation and really talk about this over the next few minutes. So, I mean, if we look at what you did, maybe just give me a brief kind of number of Olympics you were there, how many medals, and kind of where you think you rank as one of those Olympians. Come on, I'm gonna put you on the spot right away.
Oh, geez, that is putting me on the spot. I took part in 4 different Winter Games: Sarajevo 1984, Calgary 1988, and that's where I won a gold and a bronze. And then we went to Albertville, France. 2 more gold in the 500 and 1,000 at those Olympics. And then I was lucky to be, Dan Jansen too, on that flip of the Olympic Games where they took the winter to make a move first so that there would be an Olympics every 2 years instead of it always being 4 years. So we made that first little jump. So we went from 92 to 94. So I kind of got 1 more Olympic Games out of it, Dan Jansen as well. That was the Lillehammer Olympics where I came back with 2 more Olympic gold medals, 500 and 1,000. Probably my best race though at that Olympic Games was the 1,500 and I placed 4th. And then after that, then we're back to that 4-year cycle. So it is that there's an Olympics every 2 years, winter, summer, winter, summer. The other thing about that too is it was super nice, I think, for the winter sports because I always felt like we were just a warm-up for the summer games because when our Olympics would finish, then they'd be like, okay, now the Summer Olympics is in just how many months? And so I think this really gave a lot of us winter athletes really our own kind of year and a half to stand on after you have some of those successes kind of ride it out, if you will, and not be just a warm-up for the summer games. So
we're gonna go into all the Olympics. We're gonna talk about your winning the gold, but first, we're gonna hear from one of our sponsors, and that's our old Central Standard.
Hey Wisconsin sports fans, this is Evan Hughes, co-owner of Central Standard Craft Distillery and Central Standard Craft House and Kitchen. We're proud to partner with the Wisconsin Athletic Hall of Fame to bring brand new podcasts to life. We're going to celebrate some of the most memorable moments from Wisconsin sporting history and really bring those moments to life. Our space offers some great experiences, such as this podcast. We really look forward to welcoming you to Central Standard Craft House and Kitchen. See you at the bar soon.
Nunn Bush is proud to support the Wisconsin Athletic Hall of Fame podcast, a local brand with a national presence making dress shoes, casual shoes, sneakers, you name it. Available at Macy's, Kohl's, and Zappos, these shoes are stylish and legendary for their comfort at a great price. Score big with code MVP20 for 20% off at nunnbush.com. Join the community on Instagram and Meta at Nunn Bush Shoes.
All right, Bonnie, let's start. I don't want to start at the beginning, like total beginning, but your first experience with speed skating, kind of why you got into speed skating. I know that involved your mom and kind of your family. Kind of why, and did you ever think, kind of back then, that you would end up really where you are?
Yeah, I'm the youngest of 6 kids, the youngest by like a long ways. And, you know, my brothers and sisters had been in the sport well before I was even ever thought of. And, you know, I kind of came along, and it's a crazy story, yes, but is it like meant to be? I don't know. But you have to remember, back in the day, husbands weren't allowed in the delivery rooms when someone at the age of 61 was born. So, you know, since my mom had already done this 5 times, literally my dad dropped my mom at the steps of the hospital, and he went and took the rest of the siblings to an ice rink. And so then it was announced over the loudspeaker whether they had a girl or a boy.
So it was a girl, boy,
so
or a gold medal, one of the 3, right? Yeah.
And so that's how the rest of my family knew that I was a girl. And you know, so is that just fitting that it was in a, you know, it wasn't at a soccer game, it wasn't at a, you know, it was at a nice, like, that's just crazy, right? Yes, that's very so, so just crazy beyond that. But, you know, I don't remember learning. The other crazy thing is they said they didn't have skates small enough for me, so they just left my shoes on and then stuck my feet inside the skates that way. But yeah, like, I don't remember learning. I just remember loving to go to the rink. Right. And it really kind of reminds me really of like my son and my daughter. And you know, back when my daughter was smaller, it was more gymnastics, but for my son and hockey. And you know, he knew there was a schedule on the counter. He knew what time he needed to leave. It was a hockey night, and he'd go down and go load up his hockey bag with all his gear and bring it upstairs, and you never had to tell him. And so I'm guessing that's kind of the exact way that I was, because I just always remember loving to go to the rink, the competitions. You know, growing up in Champaign, Illinois, we traveled a great deal to the Chicago suburbs for a lot of the competitions. Yes, we would come up to the Milwaukee area, you know, St. Louis, you know, Detroit, Minneapolis, and it was almost every weekend. And, you know, my family, we weren't overly wealthy. I never went on a vacation as a kid. Like, we basically spent our money going to speed skating competitions.
Talk about, and we just had the speed skating trials here not too long ago, and you know, six people got on the team. What was that like for you when you made your first Olympic team?
Well, if I could go back just a little bit further, I want to go back to my first Olympic trials, right, which was for the 1980 team, where Eric Hayden went on to do so well. But I had just tried on a whim to do what we call long track skating. So back then I really did more of what was pack style, like what Apollo Ono did. You race in a pack of skaters and series of heats and semis to get to the finals or whatever. So I had never done the long track where you're literally just going against the clock. And I was up here for another competition, and they're like, oh, you know, in the pack style, and they're like, well, why don't you try the long track? And I'm like, okay, I'll try. And in one race, I made the qualifying time to skate in the Olympic trials.
Even though you hadn't skated that race before.
And I had really never done that style, right? Yes, speed skating is speed skating, the turns, the straights, whatever, but never, you know, with just one other person on the ice of 500 meters. And I qualified for the Olympic trials. So that was the next weekend. So we weren't planning to come to Milwaukee the next weekend, but we did. Which was a good thing. And I was actually paired with Leopolis Mueller, who went on to win 2 silvers in Lake Placid. And in that race that I was paired with her, she said that my first 100 meters was so fast that got her going faster. She set a track record. Sure. And she came up and thanked me. And I'm like, what? You know, like, this is she's going to the Olympics, like, and she's thanking me for making her go fast. So, you know, just a little thing like that, you know, you don't know what it does to a kid. Right. You know, that it then puts that light in your head that goes, well, you know, maybe I could go to the Olympics. Right. And at that Olympic trials and in that race, I placed 8th overall. So here, a ton of all these other athletes had gone over into Europe to get on ice early and the training. And, you know, I was just kind of skating short track and you know, some of these other pack style races, and came out there twice. And I was 8th in the country. And so that was that thing that kind of put that light bulb on in my head that said, well, maybe next time I could go to the Olympics. So
talk about, you tell a great story about your first gold. Tell me what that was like, kind of what the race was like, and then your kind of emotion after that. You know, we're going to see that here in a couple of weeks. Yeah. It is, I mean, it's an incredible feeling, I'm sure. Yeah,
for sure. So, you know, going into the Olympics, I know that I'm a medal threat. I know that I could potentially win a gold. I know that that's there, but you still have to make that happen. And so one of my biggest rivals from East Germany had already gone before me. Typically, she's down the first 100 meters faster than I am. But for me, the gun goes off. I hear the announcer say the 100-meter split, and at that point, I knew I was 2/100ths of a second faster than she was. And so I thought, oh, if I just skate a good lap, you know, I've got this. And, you know, I see my coach on the backstretch, and I come around, cross the finish line, and it was the exact same 2/100ths of a second that I beat her down the 100 that I won the race by. And was also, so she had set a world record. So in order for me to win, you know, not only do I have to go faster than I've ever gone before, but I have to set a world record at the same time. So, yeah, like, you know, when I watch that back on TV, it's also kind of weird too, because I feel that everybody else sees that I win before I do because of how the clock stops on the TV. And it's like a delayed reaction for me, but, you know, oh my God, thrilling, exciting. And then you get to go stand on the medal podium. My family had all been in one area to watch the race, but that's not where the podium was. So they all kind of moved and tried to maneuver their way in between people. And as I was about to get up on the podium, I saw my sister Angela, and she's crying, almost as if I am now. My sister Susie, just a big, huge grin on her face. I found my brother Rob high-fiving his best friend. My sister Mary, she was the loud, crazy one. She's yelling, screaming, going absolutely nuts. And then my mom still looked scared to death as if I was still racing.
It hadn't sunk in yet, Claire.
Yeah, but to look out into the audience and see my family and see all those different emotions, you know, that's what it was like. And then, yeah, I did it 5 times. That's crazy.
That's crazy. So now,
that's crazy.
So now things turned for you a couple weeks ago, and your daughter was in the speed skating trials here in Milwaukee, and she raced. What was that like for you?
Now I know what my mom went, you have no control whatsoever, right? No control. All I can do is yell and ring my cowbell, and that's really about it. But, and she knew that for her, in order to make this Olympic team, it was an uphill battle. At the end of the day, she's really looking at 4 more years down the road, and maybe even 8 years down the road, because then the Olympics will be in Salt Lake, which is like home. Yeah, so, you know, yes, you have to still want it,
Did you watch? Did you watch, or did you go like outside?
Oh no, I'm right there rink side. Like I'm not one of those where I can't look away. No. Maybe if she was skating a 1500, I might need to look away just because I know it wouldn't be pretty. But because she's really a sprinter right now. The 500 sometimes is a long way. But no, she's, as soon as the trials were over with, she's back. She's working, training hard, and they'll have their first, we just call them practice races, but the first set of races since the Olympic trials will be on Saturday. She's back at it, training, and she will join me over at the Olympics for about 5 days. So the last time she was at the Olympics was 2010. The only thing she remembers is the hotel, the pool, and the slide at the pool.
So just like a normal vacation is what you're saying.
So yeah. So I think it'll be nice for her to kind of see what it really is like up close and personal, and it kind of, gives her maybe a little bit more incentive. But at the end of the day, too, like I said, it really has to come from her, right? And my husband and I have always been very much like, if you're not doing this for us, this is for you, but she's like all in, and it's fun to watch and be on the journey along with her, and obviously her dad and I kind of know what she's going through, so yeah.
Well, we're going to take a break here, and then when we come back, we're going to get your thoughts on the upcoming Olympics and who you think is going to be on the medal stand.
All right, sounds good.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your boy Donald Driver, president of the Wisconsin Athletic Hall of Fame, with a very special message. Join me down in Grand Geneva on July 20th with Jordy Nelson, Mason Crosby, Bonnie Blair, and your favorite Wisconsin personalities from an annual Hall of Fame golf outing. 400-yard drive, experience on every hole, and a day filled with incredible memories. Do not miss out. Let's get back.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's Bonnie Blair. I'm in the Hall of Fame. I was actually inducted in the class of 1995. But coming up is going to be this next induction where we're going to see sporting icons, premium experiences, and deep connections as we are on the lookout for the 76 Wisconsin Sports Hall of Fame, and those people are going to be unveiled. You're not going to want to miss this experience, their legacies being memorialized right in person. But now, back to the show.
All right, Bonnie, we're back. In a week and a half, we're launching the next Olympics in Italy. You're going, maybe tell us what you're going to be doing over there, kind of what your schedule is, and then we're going to talk about who you think is going to win some of those medals this year.
Yeah, so first of all, going in the beginning part with U.S. speed skating. U.S. speed skating, hockey, and U.S. figure skating are kind of sharing a hotel that there's 10 rooms that each of them have. So I'm the host for that first little part with U.S. speed skating, and then we have Eric Heiden will be in the middle wave, they call it, and then Dan Jansen. So all kind of Wisconsin people, all on the Hall of Fame.
Right. I love that. Say that again.
All back on the Hall of Fame, yes.
That was well done.
Yeah, I can kind of maneuver those things in there. And but they have what's there called the Ice House. Oh, yeah. So because we're hockey, figure skating, speed skating,
that's
we're
creative.
all
Ice House. I like
Ice
that.
House. You gotta like that. I think Brian Boitano, he's doing like a lounge where he's creating interesting drinks.
Okay, well, what are you doing? I want to know. Are you creating interesting drinks?
Yeah, well, he did ask for different like names that we could maybe come up with.
So what's yours?
And it had something to do with the lactate in the legs, I think, from our sport. So I don't know if he's made his final decision yet, but we were giving him a couple, and then he just texted me right before this, and they want to do like some exercises. Okay. Could I share exercises? And I'm like, yeah, as long as I'm not on the ice, I can do anything in my shoes, so we're all good.
So I want to talk about the Olympics, and you were at the trials. You watched. who should we be watching? Obviously, Jordan Stoltz is kind of the star we should be watching. Jordan, how do you think he's going to do, and who else should we watch?
Yeah, so Jordan from Kewaskum here in Wisconsin, he's going to be, he's realistically, and I'm not kidding, he's got a shot for bringing home 4 medals. Wow. It's absolutely crazy. So it'll be the 500, the 1,000, the 1,500, and then he's also in the mass start. And that's where they have that kind of then comes back to like short track a little bit. Whole bunch of guys all out on the ice at once. It's a little bit like cycling. So every 4 laps, there's a preem where you can get some extra points for the overall, but still winning it and crossing the finish line trumps whatever points you get prior to. But with his engine and his sprint, if the race goes the right way, he could easily win that race. Erin Jackson, going back as the defending champion in the 500 meters, she's really got her work cut out for her because there's a Dutch girl that has won all the 500s this season, even dating back into some of last season. But Erin's been on the podium in either second or third quite a few times. Brittany Bowe, she'll turn 37 just after the Olympics. Wow. Okay. Her best events are the 1,000 and the 1,500, and she's been in the top 5 all season in the World Cup. So she's in the mix of things. So it would really be super cool if she could bring a medal there. She'll also be in the team pursuit. And then our men's team pursuit team, they've won every race so far in the World Cup, and they're the world record holders in that event. So they for sure should be able to bring a medal.
Is there somebody we should watch? Is there a surprise? Someone who may not win a medal but may do really well. Someone we haven't heard of. We obviously heard them on the team, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's someone we should watch.
I still, I guess, have to go back a little bit to Brittany Bowe, even though she really hasn't been on the podium. And she has won medals before, a bronze in team pursuit and a bronze in the 1,000. So she's done it before, but like I said, she's 37, going to be turning 38 and still in the mix.
It's crazy. That's old. But it's not.
But we're finding our athletes now are older. With quite a few of them are in their 30s. But I think it really comes back to knowing how to take care of your body, eating, drinking, all that, the training. There's just so much more science out there. We were guessing, right? Like, we're rolling the dice, and
there wasn't much
we
training.
Were guessing.
You just ran laps.
Right,
exactly.
But there's so much more out there for them to really realize.
Who's the biggest challenge in terms of other countries? Who should we be watching there?
In our sport, for sure, Holland. I mean, they're always in the mix. That's speed skating in Holland is like what we have here with football, baseball, basketball. God, can I throw hockey in there too? But those main sports, that's their main sport. So they're for sure in there. But the Polish, they're the dark horse. Really? I think a female and male, we're going to see some of them do well here at the games, and so that's kind of exciting.
Looking at our athletes, you obviously work with them, you know them. Is there a sense of kind of pride for you as you're going to watch over the next couple of weeks, them kind of perform? Is there somebody you're really cheering for, somebody that you've worked with?
Yeah, I just think anytime we can get U.S. up on the podium, it's super powerful. Right. It takes it to that whole other level where you get to stand there and sing the national anthem. The first time I remember getting to do that was watching Scott Hamilton in 1984. And if I go back to also 1984, like I said, it's like a kid in a candy store. But I also remember one of my moments at that Olympic Games, the cafeteria is where you see everybody. Okay. And not just from USA, but all the sports, right? But one day, as a 19-year-old, I got to have lunch with Scott Hamilton and Steve and Phil Mayer. For those that are old enough to remember those names, I thought I had died and gone to heaven. And, as a 19-year-old, it kind of comes back to when Leopoldus Mueller said something to me. It was that spark that they gave me. And those three, I've gotten to know them over the course of the years. They don't remember that lunch that they had with that speed skater, but boy,
I'm sure
I
they do. I'm sure they think back. They probably say the same thing. I
Yeah,
had
no,
lunch with Bonnie
they
Blair.
remember me later on and going, oh yeah, she doesn't shut up, right? Yeah, so,
Bonnie, thank you. So we're going to hear from the audience with some questions when we come back.
okay, like it, yeah.
Hey Wisconsin sports fans, this is Evan Hughes, co-owner of Central Standard Craft Distillery and Central Standard Craft House and Kitchen. We're proud to partner with the Wisconsin Athletic Hall of Fame to bring brand new podcasts to life. We're going to celebrate some of the most memorable moments from Wisconsin sporting history and really bring those moments to life. Our space offers some great experiences, such as this podcast. We really look forward to welcoming you to Central Standard Craft House and Kitchen. See you at the bar soon.
Nunn-Bush is proud to support the Wisconsin Athletic Hall of Fame podcast, a local brand with a national presence making dress shoes, casual shoes, sneakers, you name it. Available at Macy's, Kohl's, and Zappos, these shoes are stylish and legendary for their comfort at a great price. Score big with code MVP20 for 20% off at nunnbush.com. Join the community on Instagram and Meta at Nunn-Bush Shoes.
All right, we're back on the Wisconsin Athletic Hall of Fame podcast, our first one. We're having a great time here, but Bonnie Blair, Bonnie, we have audience questions. Got some good ones for you. I'm going to make you
Okay.
think. All right, let's start with the first one, and that is, what is your message to young athletes who someday want to stand on where you stood 6 times?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, they have to have a love and a passion for it. You've got to try to figure out where your heart really pitter patters, because it's not always award ceremonies and hearing the national anthem. There's a lot of difficult days along the way, but at the end of the day, it's something that makes you want to keep getting out there and trying it over and over again, even in those dark days. So you have to, and for kids to try different things. Both of my kids did all different things growing up. And my son found his passion in hockey, and my daughter, after being injured in her passion in gymnastics, found another passion in speed skating. So, find your what makes your heart flow.
Here's a similar kind of a question along those lines. What advice do you have for people who get nerves, who kind of find it hard to perform in front of other people? I mean, how did you handle that? I mean, you're on international TV and everybody watching. How did you handle that?
Yeah, I think one of the best ways to try to, you're never going to get rid of the nerves. And I think a lot of times nerves help you perform at a good level as well. So it's how you channel those nerves and get them to go for you in the right direction. And at the end of the day, like I said, my daughter's got some just practice races this weekend. It's the same thing. You look at that race as it's the Olympic Games. Sure. So that when you get to the Olympics, it's not any different. And yes, sure, there's a lot of things around you at the Games that are going to be very different, especially for these athletes that have never been there. Athletes that were at the last Games that was COVID. I mean, it's going to be a whole different ball of wax for a lot of these guys that are first timers. But at the end of the day, you're in it because you love it. You want to race, you want to do your best, and you just got to really try to channel those nerves and make them work for you instead of against you.
We have a question from our friends from Milwaukee. When you bring speed skaters into town, bring international people into town, where do you want to show off? Where's this one spot in Milwaukee where you want to show off?
Oh, golly. Oh my goodness. I think maybe lakefront.
All right.
Because that's where we've done a lot of hill runs. So that would have been.
Our visitors should come here and run hills with Bonnie. I'm out.
Just because.
It's a beautiful view.
But it's a beautiful view. There's like Lake Park Bistro right by there. So that's got like a nice restaurant. You've got the view of the lake. You can go in the sand. You could go get in the water if you want. There's also like an ice cream spot
Oh,
over
yeah,
by
right on the
there.
lake. You're right. It's a beautiful
so
place.
There's a
Yeah.
few things there. You know, you can't always pass up the Lake Country area.
Yeah. How about that place right in the middle where they skate? What about that place?
Yeah, Pettit. I mean, but if you said that they were coming for Pettit or for speed skating, they would have already saw that.
Right, okay.
So, but if they weren't coming for speed skating, then yeah, we're taking
We're taking the lakefront.
There's nothing.
We're getting ice
there's-
cream. We're going to Lake
and then
Park
we're
Bistro.
and then we'll go work it off at the ice rink. Yeah.
Work it off at the ice rink, take a few laps.
Yeah,
Win a few medals.
Gotta,
Win a few medals.
yeah, you gotta like skate a couple laps so you can eat, right? Like that's my motto. I want to keep exercising. So what can I have for dessert tonight? Yeah.
You still skate? I mean, are you out there?
I do enjoy to skate. Yeah, like not as fast as I used to, but I definitely still do.
What is not as
enjoy it.
fast as I used to?
Oh yeah, there's no power left in the legs. So
I'm thinking there
it's-
still is. I'm thinking,
It's more the slower laps. or
no, wait. When
whatever.
we were out there a couple months ago, you were doing pretty well.
Yeah, it's okay, but it's not raceable. No. So,
30,
but we,
39 or 40 or
yeah,
38?
we're not even going there. But for those that are here, I brought the old and the new, so you can kind of see what the old skates that I raced on in the Olympics, and a racing suit of then from '92 games, and then what the skates are like that the athletes use today. And a uniform of what they have today to make them go really fast. So we'll show them to the audience. Yeah, yeah.
I really appreciate you being here. It's always fun having this conversation. Kind of thank you for being our first guest, and thank you for being a Hall of Fame member and a big advocate for Milwaukee.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Thanks for all you do, too. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you all so much for tuning in to the Wisconsin Athletic Hall of Fame podcast, brought to you by Central Standard and Numbers. Don't miss out on our next edition with more stories, memories, and analysis. Stay tuned.
Let me first man. Oh, bye.